Hello and welcome to Pursuit of Perfect System. In this video we're going to be doing a review for this 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray of Dunkirk. Now I appreciate what a huge event of history this is telling the story of. However, I can't help feeling a little bit disappointed. As always, this video is going to be looking at the picture quality and the sound quality of the UHD Blu-ray. Not really a critique of the film, but I will put in a little bit of my opinion of the movie, and at the end obviously I'll give you a recommendation of whether I feel it's worth buying or not. Now as always, if you look in the description below the video, you'll see a link to Amazon where you can buy obviously this Ultra HD Blu-ray. By doing that you support the channel and we really appreciate it. Now Dunkirk was one of the biggest movie releases of 2017 with a production budget of $100 million. Directed by Christopher Nolan, who we all know has brought out some absolutely stonking movies, isn't he, over the years. So the expectation for the Ultra HD Blu-ray of a movie that was, hugely critically acclaimed, had great press and stuff at the cinema, was, the expectation for the Ultra HD Blu-ray was, for me, was through the roof. So we'll start by having a look at the visual aspect of the Ultra HD Blu-ray. Now Christopher Nolan, true to form, as he always does, messes about with the picture aspect ratio during this movie. Similar to the Transformers The Last Night, majority of the film is a 16:9 ratio with some transitions to 2:3:5:1, letterbox style picture. However, I just don't get it. I understand and I appreciate it when it's the other way around. For example, in Christopher Nolan's film Interstellar, where we have the spaceship docking scenes where they kind of go huge, and that totally adds emotion and adds impact to those really critical and important scenes for those movies. However, when it's the other way around, when the majority of the film is 16:9 and occasionally it just flicks over to 2:3:5:1 letterbox, all that really does is annoy me. I don't think it adds anything. It only detracts from the picture, and I can imagine if you are watching this Ultra HD Blu-ray on the TV, you'll just get cheesed off at those scenes because you're used to a full screen glorious picture and then it cuts itself down, and that's probably just going to annoy people. Now I know it's creativity and it's to do with themes and an atmosphere and stuff, but this way around I just don't think it works. And what I'm concerned about, and I really fingers crossed hope that the success of films like Dunkirk, Transformers The Last Night, doesn't encourage other directors to start doing this. So please, if you've watched this, which you're probably not, don't do it. Please don't do it. It doesn't add anything, it only takes away. So with that moan out of the way, I must give credit where credit is due. Visual element of this movie, and in particular on the UHD Blu-ray, is outstanding in terms of its authenticity, creativity and cinematography. I can't recall seeing a movie within at least the last 3 to 5 years that's so authentic. You are literally transported back in time, and the desperation and severity of the situation for the poor individuals of the story we are being told comes through, and you see it brought to life in front of you. This movie has some of the best special effects I can remember seeing in a long time, and it's not your typical obvious CG based effects. Everything in this movie, it looks real. It looks like they've built sets for absolutely everything. I don't want to spoil things, but it looks like things have been blown up. It looks like things have been actually physically sunk. It is absolutely amazing in that regard. At one point I actually spoke out loud and I said, how the hell have they done that? I genuinely couldn't believe it, what I was seeing. And from a visual point of view, the Ultra HD Blu-ray is fantastic. It's a lovely and clean picture, very detailed, very crisp, very sharp, and I think that moves us nicely onto the sound quality for the Ultra HD Blu-ray. Now I was really surprised, and I'm sure a lot of people are, to only see a 5.1 soundtrack for a modern movie. 5.1, I hear you say? Yes, 5.1 only. Now I wondered to myself, have they done that to try and give us a picture ratio and a sound format that was available at the time of the actual real event? Now, obviously that's just a joke. Interestingly, the sound quality and the overall sound mix is not let down by the fact that it's only 5.1. And I'm actually only running a 5.2 system at the moment, so it's not the end of the world. But I can imagine guys who've invested all that money in Atmos-based systems will be, kicking and screaming. Why have they not brought out this huge big blockbuster movie in a more advanced format? I think it's because you can still generate an awesome sound, and we'll talk about that in a second. So the soundtrack for Dunkirk is a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. I'd say 90 to 95% of the movie soundtrack is literally blow your mind outstanding. Some of the samples they've used, engines, boats, guns, explosions, just like so many subtle or not so subtle samples that are used throughout the movie, and the soundtrack quality is outstanding. The actual mix, the surround mix, the layering, the impact, the intensity, the score, the musical score by Hans Zimmer that creates the tension, creates the atmosphere, nearly all blow your mind reference quality. I feel like I need to make special mention of certain aspects. I don't want to spoil the movie. At the start we have some gunfire, blows your head off. Scenes within an airplane cockpit, and the sound, it just puts you there. The sound quality, the sound mix puts you in that cockpit. And there are lots more that I could talk about, but I'll be getting more into spoilers, and I really don't want to do that. For me, it's only 90 to 95% that quality, because at times some of the the big bass sound effects are a bit grunty and a bit gurry, and that detracts. It pulls you out of this movie, and it detracts from what is otherwise a phenomenal experience. And worse than that, some of the vocals, some of the dialogue is very hard to understand. I don't know if that's done intentionally, as part of the atmosphere, or just to try and suck you in more. However, I can feel certain people complaining about this disc. If you don't have a very well set up system for vocal and dialogue, you might find it difficult to follow some of that within the film. So that's just something I think to bear in mind. But with those two complaints aside, this is an outstanding Ultra HD Blu-ray for sound, and it's easily one of those discs that you'd put on to show off your system to a friend. So if the disc has outstanding visuals and outstanding sound, how can I say I'm a little disappointed? That's because come the end of the movie, I remember my partner saying to me, "Did you enjoy that?" And I was actually uncertain if I enjoyed it. I really appreciated it, and I could really appreciate the effort, the skill, all the cinematography, all the work, all the $100 million that's gone into it. I could totally appreciate that, but I just don't know if I actually enjoyed the movie as a whole. Now, again, I'm very sensitive to what it's portraying. Very sensitive to how, what those guys must have gone through, the horrific nature of what they went through. Potentially I went into the movie with the wrong mindset. Now, it's not a Saving Private Ryan. I don't feel like it's the type of movie that would have you watching it maybe 10 or 12 times. But I don't think it's intended to be either. I think Christopher Nolan's tried to be different with this movie. I think he's tried to make it more of a disaster type movie than a war type movie, but obviously mixing the two a little bit, which it does well. So if you went into the movie thinking it was more of a disaster type movie, then maybe you would appreciate it in a slightly different nature. But because it is a war type movie, and that kind of precedent has been set by films like Saving Private Ryan and all the others, I think there's a certain expectation there. Maybe that expectation just needs to change, and then we can appreciate this more. Maybe second, third or fourth watch that would be the case. But I didn't totally enjoy the movie. It didn't really kind of fill me with that joy or that satisfaction that other movies do. But again, maybe that wasn't the intention. Maybe it was supposed to be a type of movie that makes you feel a little bit down after it, because he's trying to, Christopher Nolan's trying to portray that severity of situation that all those people went through that sad time. So with that in mind, I think the movie definitely pays homage to that horrific historical event. It's got some outstanding visuals, some outstanding sound. So would I recommend you buy this? It is the sort of film you'll have to see. If you watch on a TV screen or a 16:9 screen, it's likely going to be a reference disc for you visually. If you have a 2:3:5:1 screen, possibly not. but still got outstanding sound. So there'll be scenes in there that you'll want to put on, obviously, for friends when they come over. And on that recommendation alone, you know, any type of disc that is a standout reference type disc that you want to put on shelf to your friends, it's a very easy yes. You know, we can strongly recommend that you buy the Ultra HD Blu-ray. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please let me know down below in the comments section what you think of this movie. Have you bought it on Ultra HD Blu-ray? What do you think? Do you think the same as me? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Visit the channel because there's lots of other UHD Blu-ray reviews and loads of great home cinema and hi-fi content. And don't forget to visit the website. Obviously that really helps us and supports the channel. And keep watching if you'd like to know what the system was that I reviewed this Ultra HD Blu-ray on, and see you in the next one. Then the system we are using to review this Ultra HD Blu-ray is a 100-inch Seymour AV 235:1 basic scope ratio projector screen. And as we reveal the system behind it, the power is coming via the Audio Quest Niagara 7000. That is basically a power conditioner which is in for review at the moment, and that is back being powered from the brand new Audio Quest Thunder power cable coming obviously off our main, you know, individual dedicated electrical circuit. Then we have the Oppo 203 UHD Blu Ray Player, which feeds into the Arcam AVR 850 AV receiver, which we're using to power our center speaker and our rear channels. Then we have the Mark Levinson number 585, which is in its home theater bypass mode, which is being used to power the KEF Reference 3 speakers. We've got two subwoofers, which are SVS SB13 Ultra subwoofers, crossed over at 120 Hz. Different sets of cables within the system. We've got some products from Audio Quest. We've got their Oak speaker cables. We've got an NRG power cable from them. The rest of the system is wired up with our usual cables, which are Exelo. We've got a room, you know, dedicated room, you know, pitch black cinema room for the best picture quality. We've got lots and lots of acoustic treatments in the room from GRK Acoustics. We're currently using a Sony VW500 4K projector. It's a very good system in a very good room. Hope you enjoy the video. Please come back for more.